Good morning. My name is Meagan, and today I get to tell you a bit about my name twin, Meagan Miller. In lower school, teachers struggled any time we were both in the same class, as the slight difference in pronunciation is the only distinction between our names. Well, this led to many confusing encounters about who was actually being called on in class. There is no one I would rather be confused for than Meagan. Meagan is one of the most passionate people I know, be it cats, Taylor Swift, or anything about the Texas Longhorns. She's not just incredibly kind, she's also downright incredible, as she somehow juggles cross-country, academics, and managing the Turkey Nation Instagram. I know she has something incredibly special to share with us today, so I give you Meagan Lee Miller.
If you were my camera, you'd be completely exhausted. On average, I take 3,000 photos a month, and that number only keeps growing. By the time I graduate from St. Mary's, I'll have taken around 144,000 pictures. I know that sounds extreme, but with each click of the lens, I focus not only on what the photos look like, but how each moment lasts in my memory. Whether it's at prom with my friends in our coordinated dresses, or after a cross-country meet covered in grass and mud, every photo is stored in my camera's 64-gigabyte memory card. If you looked through the lens of my camera freshman year, you would see a version of myself who thought I had to do it all. I tried to balance good grades, practice, a big group of friends, and I didn't leave any room for my inevitable mistakes. However, what I didn't realize then was that aiming for perfection doesn't make the best picture. I needed to learn to reframe my focus because a good picture requires balancing shutter speed, angles, and lighting. Let me take you back. October 2023. Our cross-country team had an early dismissal for our region meet, and fear lingered in the air. We all had estimated 5K times and places in our minds to beat Briarcrest. By the end of the race, we had won. Our team crowded under the tent for a photo, holding a plaque with regional champions written in gold lettering. In the picture, our faces were bright red, but our smiles showed pure relief and joy. What I didn't realize then was that this photo wasn't just about a win. It represented every mile we ran since June through the summer heat in the Normandy Hills. And now, as we've recreated the same picture for 3 years in a row, I'm also reminded that the focus of the photo has never been the trophy, it's been the people beside me. This same perspective followed me beyond the cross-country course when I packed my camera for a flight to Ireland. Halfway through the trip, we took a ferry to the Aran Islands. The ride made us seasick, but our tour guide insisted that the cliffs were worth the climb. There seemed to be a break in the rain, so I carried my camera along with me and climbed what seemed to be a never-ending staircase. Finally, we landed at a grassy clearing surrounded by rock formations. Straight ahead was the edge of a cliff. No signs or fences, just a drop-off into the freezing Atlantic waves hundreds of feet below. What I didn't realize then was that our rainy hike would become one of my favorite memories. While I was sitting on the ledge with my friends, laughing and taking pictures, I suddenly didn't feel so far from home. Finally, it flashed this year's Derby Day. If you know me, you know my absolute favorite part of the day is the pictures. Of course, this year was no different, and I had one photo in mind that I wanted to get. I found Savannah in a sea of blue. To my surprise, she agreed to take a photo with me and even suggested that I balance on her shoulders. While caught up in the excitement, I failed to remember that Savannah will only pose for a photo with me for a few seconds before running back to her friends. Derby Day was no different. As I'm in the air, I hear the camera only click twice before Savannah drops me flat on my back. She gasps as I lay there for a few seconds, and her friends try not to laugh. What I didn't realize then was that sometimes the imperfect pictures end up meaning the most. These pictures aren't cute or in focus, but I'll keep them forever because when I look at them, I can still hear the laughter of my friends behind the camera as Savannah helps me up. Now, looking through the lens of my senior year, I see moments filled with growth even when I didn't notice it. What I have realized is that to be proud of where I am does not mean everything needs to be perfect. It means recognizing how far I've come. Just like I adjust the settings on my camera, I've learned that balance is about prioritizing the things I love and spending time with the people who make hours feel like minutes. To my class of 2026, I couldn't have pictured myself smiling with anyone else these past 15 years. Thank you for filling my camera roll with laughter, memories, and joy. I know that even after we graduate, we'll always think of our perfect moments here together with full hearts and full camera rolls. Thank you.